Hi everybody, Jill from Thurso Grows here. I'm just going to do a wee quick piece on composting for you. Compost bay building of course coming up, and I thought you might like to have a wee quick look at what I've got here. If you hear any funny noises in the background, I am just going to show you where they're coming from. Mr. Henry Valentine, okay, Piggy in the background, doing all of his grunting, just saying hello. So, what do? Let's have a wee quick look. Hopefully you can see this. If I just turn the phone round a bit and you can all see this. 1, 2, 3 composting bays there, and just on the end, a little leaf mould bay. Okay, oops, can you see that? Don't know if that's working very well. There you go. Mine isn't very full at the moment. But if we come back and just have a wee look along the line here, this is my spoil heap, I guess. This is what I call my spoil heap. So this is kind of the sort of stuff that I start out with. Old plants in here, old prunings, grass cuttings, straw from the pigs and the chickens. But actually no diseased materials in here at all, nothing that's got too much weeds through it, they'll get forked out of it. Yeah, nothing that's had lots of pests or anything like that on it. So if you remember the little composting live video that Sharon and I did a few weeks ago with Jackie, we said nothing like potato blight, anything that's had diseases on it, for example. Nothing that carries pests, so no hosts, no host plants, things like shepherd's purse, and nothing which is excessively aggressive root zones either, so nothing like ground elder and cardamom hirsuta. Remember we said hairy bittercress, nothing like that in there, because they can literally go everywhere through your compost, and then you put it on your garden and you end up with it everywhere. So how do we start off? What do we do? Break all of this down. We want to add it in layers. We also want to, if I can try and get you back round again to see that, we also want to try and shred it up a little bit if you can. It can be a little bit tedious cutting it all up, but it is worth it because you increase the surface area of your material and it breaks down a bit quicker. Ideally we want, what sort of ratios are we talking about? Preferably green to brown, equal parts of green to brown, but RHS kind of recommends 2 to 3 parts green to 1 part brown. But that's quite difficult to achieve because, well, we've all got different gardens, we've all got different things growing in our gardens, we've all got different things available to us to actually put on our compost, so that can be quite a difficult thing to actually tie down. But as a general rule of thumb, 1 to 1 sort of green to brown will see you in good stead. Brown things, as we said, your prunings, your straw, your cardboard, paper. Green, as we said, old plants, and of course using our food waste from our kitchens as well. So anything that's plant-based, raw plant-based material can be used, and a good way of getting rid of your food waste as well. Save you putting it into the recycling centre and then it gives off methane, which isn't good for any of us. Okay, so that's kind of what we're using. All right, so what do? Generally speaking, I start off with a brown layer, and I start off in my first bay. Hopefully you can see that all right. Okay, I've got my wheelbarrow in there at the moment. There is a very, very small load in there just now, but I'm about to start shredding this pile that you've just looked at. Start off with a brown layer underneath. Ideally put your brown layer in first. It allows air to come up through the pile to help it with your little microbes and your beneficial organisms and things, and also helps it to build heat. So getting air up through your pile is good, starting with that brown layer, and then just layer it green, brown, green, brown, green, brown from there on until you've got roughly about a cubic metre of material in there in terms of volume. Okay, because it's that volume that also helps it to build heat. And then I generally just leave it for about a fortnight. After a fortnight, I'll give it a wee turn, and I'll turn it from the outside of the heap into the centre, and I'll give it a wee turn, and that again just helps to keep the heat going, helps to introduce all your wee beneficial organisms like your worms and your wee millipedes and stuff, into some new material again, and just helps it all to keep breaking down. That's important, trying to get some heat in it, particularly for your pest and disease, okay, because that's what's going to break them down and also break the root systems of those weeds down. But hopefully you're not going to have too many in there because of what I said earlier. Okay, so that's then covered up. As you can see, I've got a bit of tarpaulin on this. Equally, you could use an old piece of carpet, for example. That would do fine as well. If we then go and have a wee look into my second bay, can you see that? Hey, tip you that way. Mine's is actually empty at the moment, but I'll turn it into here after maybe a month or 2 months, alright? You can see I've left some of the older material still in the bottom, and that's quite handy. That kind of counts as my brown layer again. And then also, hopefully, there's still some wee bugs and bacteria and things all living in there that will come into the next lot and we can use it again. And then finally, if I go to my third box, this is the stuff that I'm actually using at the moment. Okay, so this is the spoil heap that I actually use. I hope you're getting this. If anybody knows how to flip the camera halfway through, for goodness sake tell me, because I don't know. But this is my good stuff. You can see mine is actually quite fibrous as well. I quite like that because it works as a good mulch in my garden as well. But ideally we're using it as a mulch, covering up some of our perennials and our shrubs and things that we want to protect, things like our hostas for example. But the most important thing, of course, is you're improving your soil. You're helping with your soil fertility, and that's really, really important if you want to start producing your vegetables and stuff, okay? So, a picture of my hand. So there we go. Hopefully that just gives you a little insight into what I've got here. This is along the same lines of what we've got at the garden as well. So our little compost bay building workshop is on Saturday. It'd be brilliant to see you if you want to come along and join us, okay? Take care, have a nice weekend if I don't see you, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.